What a wonderful time of worship. Can we just applaud these guys serving us so well? Can we just applaud Caleb and Joel on the sound desk, Hannah on the words? Amazing. Please be seated, thank you. Wilfred, you look so cool doing the bass, by the way. Amazing. Well, welcome. If this is your first time with Gateway Creek, Gateway, this is the very, very first time being with us, could I just ask you to just raise your hand? We've got some things that we'd like to give you, we'd like to welcome. Thank you. Keep your hands raised, please. Wonderful, wonderful. We're very, very thankful that you've come and been with us this morning. What a wonderful time of worship. May I just encourage you as well, 9:15 we have a prayer furnace. It's the real start of the meeting. It's the real start of what we're doing here on a Friday. Can I encourage you, if you're able to, set your alarm just 15 minutes earlier to come here, be with us in the prayer furnace. God really does help us set the course of what He wants to do during the meeting, during our prayer furnace. I'm going to hand over to Tim. Who's going to do? Is there anything else? No. I'm going to hand over to Tim to do some notices.
Like you forgot my name then. It's written here, helpfully, Tim. Just a few notices. First of all, baptism. We had a great time just a few weeks ago at our house. We had baptising 3. I know there's quite a few others who want to be baptised. Baptism was mentioned last week in our meeting. Just to clarify, we don't insist that you need to be baptised before you take communion. We don't see that in Scripture. We do see that both are there. If you believe and you're a believer in what Jesus has done for you, you can take communion. And if you're a believer, you need to be baptised. Both things are very clear. They're related to faith. But actually, the Bible never makes a connection directly between the two of them. But we would love you to be baptised. If you're not baptised as a believer, have a word with somebody. I think we have about 5 or 6 being baptised on 22nd of May at our house. And you can just come along, bring some food. We had a lovely group of about 40 or 50 there last time. Real joy participating in other people's joy of being baptised. Do come along and join us. If you want to be baptised, please talk to somebody, talk to your life group leader, or talk to one of the leaders here, and we'll take you through that. If you've never seen a baptism before, come along to that one, and then you can be thinking about being baptised the following month, because we will be having baptisms in June as well. Just on that, last week we had Getting Connected, a group in the small room, in the boardroom through there. If you've not done Getting Connected, it's a great way of just getting connected. This week I've been praying for those who I was in a small group with, just hearing one another's stories and praying for them. And it really does. Hearing one another's stories, seeing where one another is up to, really do. People lodge in our hearts, and we pray for them. And we'd love you to join the church. It's one of the things very clear in the New Testament. That's what we've been looking at. They devoted themselves to a number of things. They devoted themselves to the breaking of bread. They devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching, and in response to it were baptized. They devoted themselves to the fellowship, and they were connected in. So these things are all for believers. If you're a believer, you need to be connected into a local church. If you're a believer, you need to be devoted to breaking bread. If you're a believer, you need to be baptized. Actually, just on passing, a couple of people mentioned to me, someone mentioned to me, there wasn't enough drink of those little drinks last week. So we do apologise for that. And if that wound anybody up, well, you shouldn't be wound up by such things. You're devoted to the fellowship, and you love us even when we make mistakes. But we did make a mistake there, and next time we won't. But I woke up to the first SMS I had this morning was from Epan, who just said, "We have had the most amazing..." In fact, let me read it to you. Isn't this? Good morning, Tim. Elizabeth baked fresh bread last night. With some grape juice, we broke bread as a family. It was an ethereal elevation experience, Epa. So, if you want an ethereal elevation experience, break bread together. You don't have to bake it, you just have to break it. Okay. I could be an advertiser. You do, but I hope a number of you have been breaking bread together through the week. Jesus put it into our hands, not into a priest's hands, for us to do it and make mistakes when we're all together, like last Friday. He gave it into our hands, into the home, into meetings. So please keep that in mind as we go on. That was all under Getting Connected. Next notice is Becky.
Hi, stand up if you're female. I did this last week. Let's be quicker at it. It took us a while to realise whether we were or not working out. So come on, there are still some females sitting. Stand up if you're female. Okay, this notice is for you. I've actually recorded a video that I've sent to South where I'm sat in front of a load of garden, you know, sort of greenery and things, doing this very thing. Okay, so stay standing if you're female. Okay, we're having a conference here at the Taj Palace on the 30th of May for the whole day. It's a Saturday. They served us really well here. We had amazing food. For those of you who came, you know we had live cooking stations. The food was fantastic. We couldn't eat it all. But we're not coming just for that. I'm just telling you that the price is really good considering that. It's 130 dirhams if you can afford it. If you can't afford to pay that, there is sponsorship available. And if you're quite affluent and able, then I'd encourage you to just, if you're a guy even, go and donate a bit of money and say, I'd like to just sponsor someone who can't maybe afford to come, because we're doing this together, Gateway Creek and Gateway South. It's going to be on the theme of Gather, Grow, Go, which is our vision statement really as a church. And it's particularly significant because we will be gathering with everyone from South, all the women from South here. And then we're going to have a number of seminars. You'll choose one seminar. So I'll do a little keynote chat at the beginning. We'll welcome you and we'll gather and we'll have worship, which is led by a fully female band, which is exciting. And then we're going to break into seminars, the choices of which are on the back of this leaflet. And you can choose, they're all garden themes. So they've got things like digging deeper into the word and watering in worship and killing weeds and sowing seeds of salvation. So choose a seminar, they're all related to prayer, that you think, actually, I'd really like to grow in that. And then sign your name up, choose your seminar and pay your money. We've actually only got this week and next week to get everybody registered because it's on the 30th of May and I've got to pay a really big deposit. So can I encourage you, if you haven't got your ticket, please get it today. The desk will be open at the back for you to do that. Unfortunately, we don't really want you to take this away with you. Fill it in at the desk and pay if you can, okay, today. If not, next week at the very, very, very latest. It's going to be an incredible day. And we're going to be really giving a lot of time for prayer and worship and ministering to one another and using our gifts because we're all so wonderfully gifted. And so I want to encourage every single one of you, from the youngest to the oldest, to be here if at all possible. Okay, no excuses. Okay, and I look forward to welcoming you. So please register and sign up today. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, all the guys stand up. All the guys, come on. Don't be, all the guys stand up. Okay, we don't have anything for you, but Caleb, you're not standing. Are you struggling? Yeah, you're a bloke. Okay. Can I encourage us, May 30th, that we are praying for this conference. We're praying for our ladies. Okay? And we're remembering this. This isn't just, you know, hey, girls are gone, let's get the guys round, and yeah, it's not that. This is building into the kingdom of God. So can I just make a quick commitment, guys, 30th of May, and lead up to that we're praying for our wife, spouse, whoever, people in this community, okay?
Okay, sorry, there's a few things today. Just next is the gift day. Now, when we're together, we're here until June the 19th is the next time we're meeting all together with Gateway South, and we'll be meeting with them through Ramadan. And when we meet together with them, that June the 19th is going to be an exciting day, looking at, Steve's going to be speaking. I know what he's going to be speaking about. It's going to be very exciting, and part of that is going to be our gift day. Now, this will be the third gift day we've had like this. 2 years ago, the gift day basically came to the rescue of Gateway and helped us keep our head above water, and it was a wonderful blessing as the church stepped in and gave. Last year wasn't like that at all. We were okay, and our monthly giving had increased, and we were able to, as we are now, do all the core things and regular things we're meant to be doing: children's work, youth work, renting this, all sorts of things. But last year, the gift really enabled us to go into new areas, allowed us to set up the business, the business account, and allowed us to put some money aside for the third runway, which we're going to be praying for this month in Gateway East. It allowed us to do a number of things that we hadn't been able to do just out of our monthly giving. Those things actually now, something like the paying for the business, is just something we're doing. We're not having to do a gift day for that. That's just something we're doing as a church. It's almost like the gift days allowed us to extend, and then we've grown into that. This year, we're looking for a similar thing. We're looking for a gift day that takes us into new areas, that allows us to impact the city in larger ways and the nations. And particularly looking for the nations, what Gateway is involved in the nations, our own responsibilities. So not just leaving it for an organisation called Regions Beyond, but we ourselves taking responsibility for the work in Pakistan and the Philippines, and supporting Pankaj and Gafar and Nero as they've gone from us. So we'll be bringing more details, both about what the gift was used for last year and what our dreams are, faith-filled dreams for the gift this coming year. Please be praying and join us in giving. So that is June the 19th. We're going to make the envelopes available for the end of this month, so if you're not around on the 19th, we can start giving throughout June. But June the 19th, we want that to be a great day of joyful, faith-filled giving. No compulsion, but excitement about what God's calling us into. So please have that in mind. Lastly, as part of the getting connected and being joined, you will see around the room this, not gift day, but this strange thing. And if you know what that is, well, you know what to do with it. And if you don't know what it is, ask Marcus, because he does know what it is. It just takes you straight to a form which you can fill in, or you can go to the desk at the back and fill in your details. If you have filled in that detail, you will have got an email this week with news of what was going on and what is coming on. We would love that to go to everybody. So please put your name on this database. It really helps us make sure that you get the SMS, you can get this email, and we can get in touch with you very easily when things change, and sometimes they do. One other thing before Harold comes to speak, because last weekend we were praying for the 20s and 30s who were in India. What's wrong with the 30s and 40s? Transform. It'd be great to hear from them and get them up. So I'm going to ask them to come up, hand over to James, and we're just going to hear from a few of them before Harold speaks.
We're going to do 5 minutes. So I know who you are, so if you don't come up here, I'll call you out. So if you came with us to India to transform, please come up. Oh, you guys are so excited, I can see this. Yeah, amazing. Brilliant. Chris, come on, see, told you. Elizabeth. Okay, so transform, we have been praying about transform. We've been praying for Transform, this conference for 20s and 30s, born out of a prophetic word last year, and we had an amazing time. I did have some details. We had, let's come across this. We had 225 adults in attendance. We had 20 children. There was a children's work there as well, which was amazing. 13 nations represented across 5 continents. We had someone from Taiwan there, which was amazing. And then we had a gift there. We had a donation, a giving, where we raised 170,000 rupees, or was it 1,70,000? I'm learning. So we had an amazing time. As you can see, we all survived the rickshaws and the food. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to ask 1 minute. 1 minute, few of us. Why did you go to Transform? What did God speak to you about? What does it mean for you now? Okay, RJ, you want to start us off? 1 minute.
Yes, good morning everyone. So I decided to go to Transform. Yes, I want God wants to speak to me on that day. And one of the highlights are, the message was very interesting. And one of the highlights there was when I attend the meeting of GAB about mission with God, and come to realize that there are many people that we need to be reached out. People who have been broken in their hearts, broken relationship, people who've been active for sins, and people who doesn't really know to Christ. So most of the time, that is we are facing in this world. So one of my declaration there is that it's from me and my God that, Lord, I need to be encouraged and do what you want me to do.
Thanks, RJ. Jimmy?
I went to Transform because I wanted to be involved in our generation to pass on the gospel to the next generation. And by the time I left, I was glad that I did because there was one particular preaching by Pankaj about Gideon, and it's our responsibility, those who have experienced God and those who have those who have testimonies about God, to pass on that to the next generation so that they can hear stories of what God has been doing, and in that they will serve Him.
Hi guys, I really wanted to go to Transform because I wanted to take a vacation with my God and to feel the first love. We all have our feelings when we give our lives to Christ. Is that impact that it has in our hearts and in our minds and in our lives. I really wanted to get out of this Dubai hustle and just spend some time with God. And it was powerful, it was amazing. It reminded me the old days when we were young and we'd go for camps, church camps, and have fun in the bush, and it was great. And apart from that, it set a pace in my heart of being a woman in my 20s, heading to my 30s, and being an example to the generation. Most of the time I check out and look at the young guys and I'm like, I feel like some people are lost, to be honest. And if someone doesn't stand out to show the example, to set a pace, they'll keep on getting lost. So I thought I should do it, not just for me, but for the rest of the women in my age.
Pick up the pace a bit, that's all.
Okay, hello everybody. My name is Chris, and the reason why I went to Transform was because I was looking for a spiritual defibrillator. That thing that clear. I was feeling like I was losing my fire, and so I needed an awakening. And we all know Dubai has a way of getting you into the system, and somehow you kind of draw away without even knowing and without even really wanting it. And so I was desperate to get to that place where I get charged up, and spending time with people in their 20s and hearing their dreams. Somehow as you get into your 30s, you forget your spiritual dreams, if you know what I'm talking about. And so they reawaken the hunger and the love for God. Thank you.
Hello guys, I'm Christina. I went to India for Transform to really know where I'm heading for, because usually I'm always disconnected sometimes. Most of my LJ group know that I'm not yet baptized, so I'm looking for where He want me to go. Where's my pathway? And then at India, I am so happy that I was being connected. And then I want to encourage everyone that if you really want to encounter God, just pray and then ask for Him.
I am Harshada. The reason why I went to Transform was I really wanted to be transformed. And while I was praying for it, since I was undergoing passivity for quite a long years, and while I was praying for transform, I got the word that God gave me was that it's going to be a destiny changer for many. I started holding to that promise. I soaked myself into prayers, and I was very much excited to go. While I went there, and through every session that Garrett took, Steve and Ali, one thing was so clear, that God has called me to be different. It's not because of by myself, but it is because of Him who dwells in me. And I've come back with a dead passivity where I have been activated by His Spirit. And I just want to say, God, that here I am to serve you. Yes. Yeah. And thank you, Gateway, because it's 2 years I've joined Gateway. The highlight is I got a confirmation that I have to join the church just with a little word called nations. And today I see the extended plan of God, how He's fit me right. So I just thank God for it.
Hi everybody, my name is Sapna. Even like Christina, I was seeking God for what's in store for me this year and for the next years to come. So I was really seeking God for direction, and I really got direction at Transform. I think the challenge for all of us is, for the younger generation, is always that I'm too young, and we disqualify ourselves, not being experienced enough to share the word of God. But I want to encourage all of you that don't disqualify yourself. Whatever the reasons might be, God will use you.
Amen. Nothing happened to you then.
Hi, my name is Luciane, and well, Transform was everything I was expecting. Wow, it was more than I was expecting. It was a great time, great communion with God and with one another. It was amazing to be in India and to see as they say God's plan for the nations. It was a really, really big experience for me.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth. I went to India with a blank slate or of sorts. Like, I just wanted God to speak something to my heart and just to direct me in terms of my spiritual walk. And the one thing I got from Transform is that I am part of the change for the generation to come, because we're the next generation, we're the ones next in line. So, and at the end of it, I had more boldness to stand up in my community and, you know, at my workplace, to step up and be the light and just to shine God's light.
The other thing that happened in Transform was that James and Luciane are now engaged. Don't stand with them. Just so you put them together. Wonderful news, they're engaged, and we thank God for them and we bless them. And it's, have you set a date yet? Can't tell you the date, mate, but it won't be too long. Next Friday. Isn't that wonderful? We will be hearing more from what happened at Transform over the next coming weeks. We'd love to hear more of those stories. There is a lot behind each of those kind of nuggets. There was, you think, there's a whole story there, and it was so great to hear about that. Okay, there's one other thing. Do go and sit down. James, where's James? Do you want to come up and just give your announcement, and then? All right.